All right, have and have not fans, we're back at it again. Now, I thought I was done talking about this character. I literally thought I was done with it. But fans again have been contacting me. Jeremy, what if Malik is at the hospital in season 6? Because, you've done so many videos talking about, what secrets will be revealed, and the fact that in the second episode, Battle for the Past, it said that secrets will be revealed once everyone is at the hospital. And I've already done the breakdown as to who's going to be in the hospital within the first couple episodes of the next season in 2019 and why. I'm just going to quickly run down it. Remember, Dave's in the hospital. And then, of course, Jim is going to be there talking with him. Benny's in the hospital. Then we have Derek and Hannah in the waiting room. Mitch will eventually show up. And then we see Secret Service, assuming that means Charles and Candace will both be showing up to see about her brother. Allegedly, Madison might call 911 for Veronica. That means him and Jeffrey will be going along as well. RK should theoretically be at the hospital after Veronica spilled that hot coffee on him, so he would go to the burn care unit where David is in order to see Jeffrey. And we know Justin will be lurking around somewhere. And on top of that, once Catherine gets word of what happens to Benny, she's going to leave everything with Broderick and go straight to support her friend Hannah at the hospital. And basically, everybody aside from Wyatt, remember Leo and Mac are watching him at the house. Everybody should be at the hospital. And people are telling me, what if Malik is at the hospital as well? I'm not going to lie, that's a pretty good theory. Now, I would love to see that happen for multiple reasons because one, oh man, RK and Candace being there, shoot, that would be crazy. But the people who left him for dead. But keep in mind this, I have stated how ridiculous it would be for Malik to survive for multiple reasons. And the biggest argument I could see people throwing against me is, well, Jeremy, remember that time that Benny bailed Quincy out of jail and rigged his truck because he was going to flip it over and whatnot? And he rigged the seatbelt on the passenger side did not work. And he got that crack from Warlock, or those drugs from Warlock, so he could pick up Quincy from jail, drive the truck off the road, then drag Quincy out, beat him up, and then leave the drugs on in his coat or whatever. And he called the 911 with Quincy's phone, told him the location. That way, when the cops show up with the drugs on his person, he will get arrested without any chance of making it out ever again. For somehow, Quincy not only survived the accident because of no seatbelt, because I think Benny dragged his ass out of the truck, if I'm not mistaken. He dragged him out of the truck, beat him up he pummeled him into the concrete, and then left him for the cops because he checked his wallet to get the photo of Quincy Jr. with Quita, so he knew where to find his nephew, left Quincy there, and somehow Quincy managed to leave the drugs on the street and drag his broken body to the woods on the other side of the road. So literally he moved from the road to the woods and just, waited out in the grass and whatnot. And by some means, I have no earthly idea how Quincy managed to show up at the hospital. Remember that Quincy Jr. was in the hospital because Hannah and Benny found all of the wounds and whatnot on his back that were being near infection. So they were in a waiting room waiting for, the results of Quincy Jr.'s status of health. And looking down looking at the hallway from where they were sitting, they saw Quincy literally limping down the hall. So I have no earthly idea how Quincy did that. And we don't know the distance between where Quincy was left in the street to the hospital location, because we do know that Benny he literally walked away from the wreck because obviously he wrecked the truck, so he walked away. So I don't know how Quincy survived that. So I will admit, if Quincy did all that, then maybe Malik had to have, remember, RK said he was dead. Now I will say this much, I do buy that it is possible that Malik could have survived the stab. But remember, him bleeding out like that, it makes sense for him to have passed out. Maybe he passed out, was briefly unconscious, and showed the signs of death. But I don't know if RK checked his pulse or anything. I don't know. We didn't see all that. We just saw Candace turn her head from the front seat and ask what was going on. And he said he was dead, took the money off of him, and then left. The 45,000, if I'm not mistaken. Was it 45? Yeah, I think it was 45. But in any case, that's when she set the van on fire. Then they walked away. And God knows how much of a distance it was between where they left the van in the middle of the street to the hotel. Remember, this was the middle of the night. Candace was wearing heels. How far did they have? Did they catch an Uber? I don't know. But in any case, Malik would have had to regain consciousness. And I'm going to say that and again, this is a theory now. I'm trying to give those people who say Malik is alive the benefit of the doubt here. Remember when Quincy was stabbed like 50 times by Jeffrey, he passed out for several episodes until he regained consciousness. Remember, he had lost a lot of blood, meaning that it does make sense why he passed out for quite some time, but then briefly regained consciousness. So I could find the same to be true for Malik, where he was stabbed only one time, but it looks like, you know, Hannah did get him in like a vital area. So the bleeding really was, what's the word, profuse? Or basically he bled a lot. Let's leave it like that. So he left a lot of blood. So he would have had to somehow regain consciousness. And I'm assuming he still had the knife in his back. I'm going to assume he still had the knife in the back. And, you know, somehow burst out of the back of the van while it was on fire. And then magically gets to the hospital. I have no words for how this could work, but I will admit Tyler Perry has done the unbelievable on this show before. So I will admit that if he's in the hospital, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. I mean, if the president-elect can select a hooker and a murderer as his first lady, anything can happen, people. This is the haves and the have-nots. You got to have faith that everything that people say cannot happen will happen. So Malik might actually show up at the hospital. I mean, remember Vinny got his freaking throat slashed, lost a lot of blood, and is somehow magically alive. So you know what? I'm just gonna what's the phrase here? I'm going to let go of the limitations of my levels of belief. I'm just going to believe it to be true. So if Vinny Malone can survive being slashed in the throat, left on the floor to bleed out and survived, if Quincy could be in an accident, beaten into the concrete, and then somehow make his way to the hospital, whatever, fine, I'll accept it. What, I don't care. And Veronica, don't even get me started on the list of stabbed in the stabbed in the breast, fell off the balcony of the stairs, got electrocuted with the defibrillator, got into the car wreck, and dragged out before it fully caught flame. Anything can happen on the haves and the have-nots. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts. Do you think Malik will be in the hospital in the opening of season 6? Do you think he somehow survived the stab and dragging his body out of the burning van? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I mean, maybe there was a cop car or something that passed by the van when it was on fire, and they, for some reason, decided to check to see if there was anybody in there, and then Malik was saved by the hospital. I don't know. What? I don't care. Whatever. But let me know your thoughts, literally. If you... I still have not gotten anything for giveaways, but let me just put it this way. I can't guarantee any kind of giveaway anytime soon, but if there are at least 2 comments in the comment section below that really wow me or impress me, I'll try to get you something sometime within the next couple weeks. So I will say that much. So think of this as a possible giveaway, but like I said before, you really gotta convince me in the comments that Malik is alive, because I really think I covered all of the bases of how he could have potentially survived the stabbing, losing all of that blood, getting out of the van while it was on fire, and then making his way to the hospital. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, as well as leaving your thoughts in the comment section below so we can keep the conversation going. On the left hand side of the screen, you should see a picture of Jeffrey Harrington. You can click on him in order to subscribe, but also hit the bell notification icon That way you don't miss out on any new content. Also, you should see some videos appearing on the screen as well that I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy if you enjoyed the one you just saw. But also, be sure to follow me on social media such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Links to all my social media will be in the description below. And in order to help this channel hit 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to need your help. So make sure to share this video as well as the channel around with all of your friends on your own social media. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you all in the next video.